morning, guys. Today's August 7th. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm going to be a second-year kindergarten teacher in Oklahoma City. And today I'm going to start prepping for Meet the Teacher, which is now less than a week away. It's today's Wednesday and it is on Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and get those started for you guys and I'll show you what I'm doing for it. I do to make sure I'm ready for Meet the Teacher is I place bins around the room with labels for the supplies they're going to bring in. I've learned that if you don't put labels or you just tell them to put the supplies in their cubby, it will place a lot of work back on you. So I'll show you what I've done to make sure that they can organize it for me. These are some bins that I got from Dollar Tree, and these are actually the labels that I put on my cabinets. So I just took them down and put them on the boxes. For these ones, since I know that they bring a lot of these, I made sure to put more than one bucket out because usually those fill up pretty well or pretty quickly. And then same thing with markers. I've got that one and those two for markers, plastic bags, crayons, and then over here are tissues and construction paper. So definitely make sure that you look over a list so that you can make sure to have a bin for everything that they're gonna bring, because that'll save you a lot of time. Because I don't know about you guys, but my Meet the Teacher is the day before school starts. Meet the Teacher's at 9 a.m. and the first day of school is the next day. So last year I spent a lot of time putting supplies away. So make sure that you have them help you organize. And I also have, they're bringing folders, headphones, and binders. These I want them to keep in their cubbies because especially with headphones, like some parents buy really nice headphones. So I have them put all those 3 items inside the child's cubby, and that way I can go back and label them so that they don't get mixed up. And a lot of that stuff goes into their cubby. Guys, so sorry my AC is blasting. My car says it feels like 108 outside. So I'm heading home. I just finished putting out all those bins with the labels on them, and I'm gonna go home and I have they're folders for Meet the Teacher, and what I'm gonna do is just have them, I'm gonna stuff them with everything, and I'll show you what I'm putting in their Meet the Teacher folders. And then I'm also gonna be doing some back to school, we have a back to school open house on the second day of school, just for parents so we can kind of give them information. So I will also show you what I'm going to be doing for that. I did just found out that they want us to do a certain type of behavior management. So I will have to hold off a little bit because I need to get more information on that so I can put it into my flipbook in PowerPoint, but I'll show you what I have so far. Okay guys, so I'm back at my house and I'm starting to work on my flipbooks. Now these are actually for our back to school night. I just kind of wanted to see how it is looking. So if you saw my Instagram story, that's all the colorful paper that I printed. And I got this template off I think it's from Kinder Craze, I'll have to look it up. But, so here is what it's turning out to look like. I haven't binded it yet, but it looks so cute. I'm super excited about it. So I'll have to bind it right here. I am missing one flap, and it's gonna be orange, and I don't have it yet because, like I said, they're changing a couple of behavior things. So once I get that information, I'll go ahead and print it and be able to bind it. So I unfortunately can't bind it until I have that. We're supposed to have a general training on it tomorrow, and then another training on it the day before school. So hopefully we can get most of the information about it tomorrow so that I can go ahead and get it in here and printed, because I know next week is gonna be crazy and really hectic, so I'm hoping to get these done by this weekend. But if not, it's okay. We'll make it work. But so I have me and my email right there, and then a transportation slide or page, my schedule, ways for parents to help out, like party days or birthdays, communication, and homework. So I just kind of gave the specifics for each one, just so that the parents could reference that. And I was thinking of even putting like a magnet on the last page so they could put it on their fridge or something, just to reference as needed, because I know the first month of school, there's so much, there's so much information that we receive as teachers, but those parents are receiving almost twice as much information, and it can be really overwhelming, especially in kindergarten. I have a lot of parents who have never put their children through school yet, if it's their first kid. So I know it can be a lot, and that's why, sorry, my cat's playing in his cat tunnel, and that's that noise. But I wanted to make sure that they could take something home to reference if needed, and hopefully that'll help with them feeling not as overwhelmed. So I finished cutting them out, and I realized that my purple paper also talked about Class Dojo, which is sad because it's already on copy paper. But the new behavior matrix thing that we're doing is supposed to kind of replace Dojo, sadly. I really love Dojo. It offers so much, and I would totally use it again. But they want us to use this other program. So I didn't cut those ones out yet, because I'll need to change the part about Class Dojo. Luckily, I have a lot of purple copy paper, so if there was any page to be messed up, I'm glad it was that one, because I have a lot of purple. But, so I have all of those done except for the one that I found the mistake, the purple one, and then the orange one I told you guys I still need to print, because it's the behavior expectations one, which is going to change. So it looks pretty cute, and I'm really excited for how it's going to turn out. So sad, Dojo. But they look really cute. I didn't use Astra Brights because they're kind of expensive. I just used copy paper that I had, and I think the order of it came out nicely. So remember, there's going to be the purple right above the pink, and then an orange one right there. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is, my cat's right here, he's really interested. So I have all these folders that my coworker got like a couple years ago, like on crazy sale, and she just hasn't used them. So she's getting rid of them, and I was like, can I have them? She's like, yeah, of course. So shout out to her. But they're just regular black folders. I need to take those off. And they do have the brads on the inside, which is really nice. So I have a couple of things to put in here, and the key is anything that's on colored paper is gonna stay with me, and then anything that's on white paper, the parents can take home with them. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna hole punch the papers and put them in here, or if I'm just gonna staple it. I'm leaning more towards hole punching just because I feel like that looks nicer, and I might be able to reuse them next year. So I'll show you what I'm planning on putting in here. Okay, so inside the folders, the forms that I'm gonna keep, I have a student information paper. So it's just like the basics: allergies, phone numbers, emails. I did ask the occupation of the parents. I also put a note, he's gonna walk right in front of the camera, guys. I also put a note that I really wanted to know. It says, I live with my blank, and so they can write who they live with, because I feel like that can give a lot of insight, as well as in our family we celebrate blank. So I wanna know what holidays they do celebrate and don't celebrate, so that I can make sure to accommodate for that. So that is on the pink paper. And after that, I also put in a parent questionnaire. So that's just for them to give me a little bit more info about their child. I put on here, what are some of your child's strengths? What do you think your child needs extra support with? What motivates your child? There he goes. Link, come on, buddy. Link. Guys, this cat, you're being a brat. Stop. Hang on. Okay, take two. what they need extra support with, what motivates them, and some interest outside of school, because I do like to go to their games if they have any, or gymnastics stuff. I like to see what they do, because sometimes you don't really see that just as the teacher in school. And then anything else you'd like me to know about your child. And the last form in there that's for me is just a transportation paper for the first day and from every day forward. I wanted to make sure it was very clear and it had the exact same names as what our school uses, because I know sometimes it varies school to school. I did not use these last year. I made these myself, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to make it for my own class was just because I wanted it to be very simple and really easy to read, and I feel like when they have a lot of clip art and stuff, it can get kind of overwhelming, and I know the parents are already overwhelmed at that stage anyways, so I wanted to make sure that it was very clear, very simple, and not too much information. So that's why I made my own. And so those will probably be inside the brads in the folder, and then after that, in the folder side of things, the first thing I'm gonna have is my Meet the Teacher. Every time I post about this Meet the Teacher, you guys always ask me if it's on Teachers Pay Teachers, and the answer is no. And the issue I have is all of the fonts that I'm using on this Meet the Teacher are downloaded fonts. They're mainly Perfect Blend fonts, and so I have not figured out how to make it editable without sacrificing the fonts, because if you're a font snob like me, that you want the font to look nice. So I'm gonna think about it some more and see if I can figure it out, but I know I have tried in the past and it's been difficult. But I did have somebody reach out to me and give me a tip, so I'll try to see if I can figure it out. I might have to save it as a background and then hope that it works okay. It won't be able to have all the fonts though, because they're all bought, sadly. Stapled to my Meet the Teacher, my cat's playing in his tunnel again. I'm so sorry, guys. Link, come on, dude. But stapled to my Meet the Teacher, I have the Night Before Kindergarten story. I did this last year, and it worked really well. I had almost my whole class watch it, and I feel like it was just a great way to kind of not be as worried about the first day of school. So I think I'm just gonna staple it to the corner, because otherwise I don't want it to fall out of the folder or get lost, since it is kind of a smaller piece of paper. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna staple it, and I think most people will know how to use the QR code, but if they don't, I just put the link there at the bottom to make sure they knew what to do. But I'm really excited about that. And behind Meet the Teacher, I've got our August calendar. Normally I would print this on color paper, and when I put it into their regular Friday folders, I'll be printing this on color paper. But since I didn't want them to get confused and think that this had to stay in the folder, I did it on white. And I really wanted to make sure this went home on Meet the Teacher, because our first day of school is actually a late start. So we start every Wednesday, we start school at 9:20 instead of 8:20. So that's on here, as well as our back to school night, which is on the second day of school. And that's where I'm gonna give a lot of my information about how my class runs. So I wanna make sure that they don't miss that. And the last thing I have in there are these pennants. So they'll take this home and decorate it. I still need to print out the directions for it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just to make sure, I'm gonna print the directions and staple it. And they'll send these back to me about the second week of school when we're doing All About Me. So there you go. day of Meet the Teacher. It is 7:30. Meet the Teacher is at 9. I'm just going to do a few more things to make sure everything will be totally ready when they get here. So I did show you guys the folders that I made. Today I'm adding these sticky notes to the outside of it, and the sticky note says, please take all white papers with you and colored papers stay in the folder. You may turn the folder into the pink bucket when finished. And I have this posted around the room, but I wanted it to be on the very front of the folder so that they really could not miss it, because it's really important that I get the forms back in the folder so that they so that I can contact them with the first day of school if need be. So I'm going to put those on all of the folders. I also have their cubby labels. I can't show you because there's names on them, but they're just like the crayon ones that are super cute. And I also did their desk label, also from Target. And the last thing that I have different is I'm going to put these in each caddy. So it pretty much says the same thing as the sticky note. It's just so that it's listed as many places as possible, because a lot of the times I don't really have time to announce something because people are coming in slowly and it's kind of staggered, so I like to be at the door greeting people. So if the first family comes in and I'm greeting all these other families, I might not get a chance to really give them more details. So I like to just have all the information out and convenient as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Quick tip also, and sorry guys, the lighting in here is so terrible. Obviously, if you haven't noticed, I don't have a window. I used to, but I guess when they were doing construction, so 2 years ago when I was not teaching yet, they had a window in here, and then during spring break they were doing construction and adding another hallway right there. And so essentially what they did was block this classroom in. So the window used to be right here. And the teacher who was in here, I asked her and she was like, yeah, when I left for spring break, I had a window, and when I came back, I didn't have a window, which I can't even imagine. She said they kind of left her room a mess. Her library was right there, so it got really dirty and dusty and stuff. So that's the story behind the window. But anyways, tip for Meet the Teacher. Now, we all know you get your roster maybe the day before, the day of maybe, and most likely you are going to get more students that have not verified their address yet or have not even maybe registered. So what I always like to do is right by my door, which is right here, I have 2 buckets that are for me that are just extra things that might be needed. So I'll show you what I have. So these are my extra folders. I put labels of their names on the folder. So since I didn't do that for the new kids, I will write their name on it with a sticky note. Extra gifts in here. So I have plenty of extra folders. I think I made 24 copies. And then I would also have a sign-in sheet right here that needs to be printed. And then my volunteer sign-up forms for Homeroom Mom. We have a Copy Mom, or we call them Dear Moms. So definitely make sure that you have extras just in case you have a last-minute addition. You don't ever want to feel flustered the day of Meet the Teacher.